Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Thrift, 3, 3. Thrift stores, thrifts, thrift stores, thrift. Bomba. Bufaya. Rastare. Folasa. Morga. Alright, testing. Okay. Today's the stream. Okay. I got 100% battery. That is well charged for something. Just gotta, so, you know, I do gotta deal with something. Hold a second. Ah, man. Damn, these cameras are the phone holders and then certain messes. Sorry about that. Just making sure this thing. Okay, let's see. It's falling apart again. All right, all right. It's gonna get a little toxic today. How's it going, everybody? Okay, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do this. What's up, everybody? Anybody's live? 92 subscribers. It's today is April the 23rd. It is Thursday, and welcome to all of this happy place. Welcome to my stream. I'm Element Reptile. I am your artist. I am your graphic designer. I am your illustrator. I was about to say I am your DJ. Shit, if I was going to be a DJ, but I sucked at it, apparently. But welcome. Man, I'm not saying this like I'm Disney, like I own Disneyland. Chill out, okay? Well, I'm not like, to all this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land, your age-fond memories of the past, and here you face challenges on the promise of the future. No, hold up. I don't have that shit. I'm broke. I still live with my parents. Still trying to, I'm getting on it, getting benefits. I worked, but I got, I just got a little pay today. Besides, we're here. If you've seen this thumbnail, we have some stuff to do. But I'm also going to be drawing at the same time. It's going to be a topic that I am going to pretty much repeat a lot and conversate about it. And probably, I keep saying probably, but I am going to make a video. Now, I'm not the kind of person I want to do race politics, because that is what the people in the high tables want us to divide ourselves. They want us to rip and divide each other and kill each other for over the littlest of things that doesn't make any sense while we're being manipulated, controlled. Like guys like billionaires like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk's, the tech giants, to the left-wing tech giants who are part of China, who are not Chinese. Remember, the world is 8.9 billion people. It's basically 9 billion people being controlled by 100 families. Billy Carson said that. But that's coming up later on. What I'm doing right now is I want to continue on the last drawing on the head thrown back, because I'm already at the last character. I'm drawing Echo right here, right now. Let's get to this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Oh shit, my music is being shown. Oh god, now I'm caught. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram and on and X, and also follow me on subscribe me on my channel, see more content. And we're gonna start now, boy. Yeah, man. Okay, here we are. Got this thing ready. Oh yeah, I have to even activate. Oh, I love. It's the first time I'm playing lo-fi music. I just wanted to calm myself down before I talk about toxicity in the storm, because I don't like toxicity. I'm not the kind of person who goes into toxic bullshit. As an artist, it's best for someone like me to fence it. I I can like okay for those man where I'm introduced to that word fence sitting. Man, let's okay. Okay, what is fence? Let's see this fence sitting. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Right here. Fence sitting being considered bad makes, mind you, I'm making it this point of as a fence sitter, but I seriously don't get why it's seen such a horrible thing. Like, sorry, I don't completely adhere to your ideology, but if I see something wrong with your logic, I'm gonna call it out. I'm not changing, nor I'm consistent with my beliefs. Uh, I'm just thinking for myself. Anyone who thinks the fence sitting is bad is brainwashing. Fence sitting means you haven't made up your mind. If you actually think for yourself, you aren't fence sitting. You haven't made. Well, that's what it is. So that's what it is. Well, for me personally, I think I say to myself the term fence sitting, like in so okay, yeah, the consequences, desire to avoid not wanting to upset. Yeah, that's what it is. That is what it is. It's an idiot decision. That's what it is right here. Oops. That's what it is right here. Look, fence sitting is an idiom describing a state of indecision, neutrality, or hesitation when choosing between two sides of a dispute, argument, or major decision. A fence sitter avoids taking a firm stance, often maintaining. Yeah. Fence sitting, and I think it's to me that there's nothing wrong with fence sitting. I if people tell me like, oh, that's like a bitch move for the you're not taking a stand for your fucking self. I mean, explains a lot about that's something about you trying to get toxically hostile over something. I'm gonna say this clearly when it comes to shit like this. Okay, I don't want to argue with anybody live on social media because that shit is retarded. It's one of the very few times I, as a person who's neurodivergent, yes, I'm neurodivergent, who says that word retarded. Though it's nothing wrong saying retarded or retard on certain things because many people say that from all around the world. It's just how people say it in a way, unless right without any within any adamant of it. But yet again, that's you. That is how you want to act. Well, I don't like it, but it's not like I want that shit gone too because hey, everybody's got an emotional feeling inside their, inside their butthole or something. You know, people, man, Funny enough, like people call me retard, although I have always wondered outside of society after school. I was thinking, I've been called retard, but I've never been called a beaner, a spick, a wetback, a sand, a sand dune. Yeah, no, no. Let's say it. Let's say it. Because they say the N word. Some people, apparently Arabs get the N word. No one never heard someone call me a sand nigger. Yeah, but I get called retard, or which is funny, but by my own race. But yet again, what I'm talking about is fence sitting. I choose to fence sit because, one, I'm not the kind of person to go into conflict, but I do think for myself. If I say, okay, but I'm going to stand for myself, then okay, I'm gonna do that. But what if you could stand for yourself and not, you know, accept one side of the other? You may think, I know the first reaction to that is, what kind of fucking logic is that? No, that's just my way of thinking. You have your way of thinking, I got my way of thinking. I don't run the same wheel as you. You don't run the same wheel as me. That's life. That's every life. For example, as a Latino, though I look fucking Middle Eastern for some reason, I live by the values of the Latino family and the Latino structure, but I never live by my culture. Because culture is one thing. Yes, culture describes the embodiment of oneself and the order and balance of the meaning of the universe. It always seeks like what Abraham Lincoln said, always seek the better angels of our nature. But the conflict to that is that, what if the culture changes like it always does, but not in the way it's supposed to be? What if the culture does not comply to formality and it starts to deteriorate? That's when you start to find out, okay, if that's the way it starts to act simultaneously for generations, and that's being passed down by grandmothers or passed down by, depending what the family is. And that's another thing. You have to understand that Latino culture is collectivist with an individualistic characteristic. It's a collectivist society. It's a collectivist, like how'd you say this? Architecture, I think, patriarchy, right? But the behavior and characteristic is very individualistic. So it's a blend of two. We're best with our music. And not just that, we are what we call, we are mutts. That's another thing. We're mutts. We are mixed race because of the chase system in the Spanish conquest. Conquistadors, people say, oh, the conquistador has killed a lot of people. Yes, they did kill a lot of people. They killed a lot of indigenous people, and we fought hard. But at the same time, before the conquistadors, it was the bigger empires that started to try to colonize the smaller empires. In Ecuador, that happened until the conquistador came. But here's the funnier part. The conquistadors did have killed a lot of people, but actually they were fucking horny. Horny as a motherfucker. I mean, the moment they saw the young women, like the young native women in the beaches of Manteña, of Manta, and Chone and Atahualpa Huancavilca. I mean, which is like our tribes in Ecuador, right? But they're extinct. Um, they were like Diego's, burn the boats, you know. But you have these fucking assholes, right? These fucking dumb shits, these idiots who who would either say that whoever express that like the hit express the history, like they need is a reason to hate that individual all the time. And then there's the other ones who wants to pray that to hate the other individual all the time because they're savages. Remember, social media is a fictional place where you can talk shit anonymously and you can get away with it. You please remember that, everybody. Please remember that social media is a fictional place where people talk shit or post stuff online and and then hide themselves out of anonymity. Anyways, that's why in this type now, sorry about that. Now, it is. I'm gonna be continuing this right now. I'm drawing the last guy. I'm drawing Echo in the meantime. So I think it's gonna be silent for now. Camera's gonna be mute. Yep. I am retardedly going to do this. Face this once and for all. People don't know the consequence of violence. I got bullied. Where is this gonna take you? Ah, okay. I see. All right, that works. Woo, that looks good. This is the stereotypical angry black kid. This is like the most stereotypical angry black YN on the block these days. This guy, like, tell me or not, this is XXS Tentacion. Yo, Jase lives. Jase lives, man. Jase lives, man. Man, if only PewDiePie wasn't a bitch for not for avoiding XXX Tentacion, bro. PewDiePie was PewDiePie would be, it would have been amazing at that time back in the day when if PewDiePie had balls, bro, and actually brought X in his stream. Oh my god, it would have been amazing. But he was a bitch, bro. Well, I don't blame him too. I mean, imagine that you have someone who looks like, all tatted up and all that kind of, yeah, all the tats and wicks and all that stuff. I mean, you look like you just came out of prison. I mean, come on, bro. How do you communicate with that? But that didn't matter. That doesn't matter. I want, like if he had his money and he got paid and he's got a family, he's got his life set and he's doing the well good being and changing himself, I would bring him. Thank God that Dante brought him in. Thank God Dante brought him in. I wonder if Dashi recognized X because X was part of the stream. Dante, I think, because there was Dante, there was Poised, Berlizzi, Corey Kenshin. Those were the leading people. Etika as well. Yes, Etika. Um, Your Rage, I think that was another guy. Yeah, Your Rage was with playing with Dante and shit. But the WNL community, there was no really WNL community at the time before it was called WNL community because there was Kai Cenat and I Show Speed. But I firmly believed no. I think the pioneers of the WNL community would be like those poised. The first black, I think one of the very first black streamers, yeah, was Corey Kenshin, Dante, and I Shall Speak. No, no, and Poised. I'm like, okay, dun, 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 dun. Good right here. Yeah. Should I add earrings? Yeah, I should add earrings on this fool. Make him a SoundCloud rapper, like a drill artist. I'm gonna give him a drill artist kind of look. No, I'm not in action now. But he's got the mechanisms. 2, 3. Oh, he's the last one. I had a very fun time drawing Robot N. Well, cause it took me a while to kind of realize like what is this guy like? Because he's totally different in anime. Very totally different in anime. Then there's the Korean Heiram. I was should draw a Chinese person, but I drew freaking Miles Morales. He needs it big time. Oh, I need to draw Sweat. I haven't drawn Sweat on Genu and Miles. N not really, but I did. Okay, I did all these people. I did Wise. I did Aether because these guys always had it on Rule 34. Shiru has been it needs more. Needs more. Jack Frost definitely has left out. Been left out for quite a while. Kerito, we already got that. Itadori Yuji, and then my boy Beast Boy, the only one with the tongue out. Yo, it's wrong. It's wrong, pero hey, man, it's wrong, pero hey, it's wrong, pero hey. So we're gonna do it. Wanna draw my boy Echo, yo. Let's do it. Echo. Here goes nothing, Echo. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna get to this part right here. Whoa, twitching like a motherfucker, like, like goddamn. Fucking like goddamn, bro. Freaking out on my head, man. Or maybe because I'm s- I'm trying to sit still. I'm not sitting still, bro. Yeah, it just needs Nirvana or something in my head, man. God damn. Let's see. Stay. Then we're gonna go to. All right. Then work on my black brethren, man. XX Tentacion on the backstreet corner. Yo, pussy niggas. I don't even listen to rap music. I don't do that. I used to listen to rap, but it's just so grimy and too freaking like misogynistic that it does not fit me. Like I can't relate to rap music, honestly. The use of violence, the selling of violence, the selling of money, the selling of drugs and and fatherlessness and the life in the streets. People don't go for knowledge and oversight as what hip hop and rap used to be. Hip hop used to be a metaphor of knowledge of oversight of family, which should be. But no, there is. The problem is that it's getting colonized by a group of white liberals, and that feeds off this need of representation and sell off what they think it's black culture, which is degeneracy. This is aggressiveness. It's you know a loud, abrasive, an abrasive, loud attitude. Not all black people are like that. No, I think it's like that. There are other, and on top of that, this genre is the one only genre that there's more deaths than other music genres. One of every, or four out of every 10 rappers, right, who are young, will go to two destinations before they turn 22. It's either they go to prison before they turn 22, or they wind up dead before 22. Why is that? Why are teenagers who wanted to start a rap career, who talk about murder, gang, dope, and weed, and fucking bitches, and shooting niggas, wind up either dead and in prison? It's because the prison system owns those record labels. And it created a demonic force. And not only that, it funded such influence that it created a serial killers like Drakeo the Ruler, created serial killers like King Von. I don't listen to that stuff. Not just that, it just doesn't really fit for me. I'm too neurodivergent. If I wanted to dance, I needed to dance something that is stimulating. I'm neurodivergent. I'm ADHD and autism. So I need something that has constant stimulation inside me over and over again. So therefore, electronic dance, like dance music, works. Rock. I used to listen to rock. I used to sleep with rock music because because I would listen to anime and think that, oh, because like that kind of music works on me because it feels me, right? But then I realized that shit feels a little too. I got too emo and too corny with that stuff because it's just too calm, too emotional for me. you know? And I don't want that. I need something to feel good and I need something stimulated. And that's when I got introduced to electronic dance music. And I think electronic dance music works for me therapeutically and biologically, neurologically. It just helps me. Electronic dance music just fits to me neurologically because of my stimulation. I'm overstimulated with many things and it needs something on a repetitive motion, not something singing. So that's why I'm like, you know what? Fuck drill rap. I don't like that. Besides, I learned long ago when I was a kid, I want to know the history of house music. Turns out it was made in America. Techno and house music was made in America, and now it's big all over in Europe. We've forgotten that how we made techno and house music, right? And house music is still big here in America. House music's still big here in America because we created house music. We definitely created house music. But it's just the style, it's just the style, and depending on the culture that house music is best sounded by. Therefore, I chose, like house music made in America. But what specifically? That's another thing. That's another thing. What type of house music did I listen to here in the United? I like EDM made in America. That's the basis thing about me. I prefer EDM in the United made in the United States than Europe. Even though Europe is best made too. Europe is highly popular too. I mean, think of it. Avicii, if I and Alesso, if I lose myself tonight. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Martin Garrix, bro. No, Tiesto, Afrojack, David Guetta, to Armin van Buuren, State of Trance, to more under middle ground artists that I love too. Oh my god, I loved Mass DJs. Mass DJs. You never heard of Dead? You never heard of Dead Mouse from Canada? Daft Punk, Bloody Beetroots, uh, Dr. Electrolove, DJs from Mars. You don't remember those people? They're from Europe. But but also I loved a lot to I don't know. There's something about there's a real difference between American styles and European EDM styles. There's a real big difference between EDM styles. But that's not what we're here for. See, this is not. But that's not the thing we're here for. I know what I have not been talked out for quite a long time ago. What I'm here for, intentionally, in by heart and mind and soul, is is there's this war going on between in Twitter, you know, Japanese Twitter. We all know how they went after the Viltrum, how they, attack, they see black people as One Punch Man, as right, as Sukuna. They see black women as you know, fate characters. They see them as Viltrumites, basically. Black Viltrumite debacle, right? Well, I'm here to talk about something too that's been told. You saw the thumbnail, and I'm pretty sure I wasted some time not talking about this particular issue. And this issue was, you know, why are black people, what's going on in America Latina? Why they're going after us Latinos? That's the real question that I want, that everybody wants to know, right? I made this topic. I made the big topic. Why is Japan going after America Latina? Well, I think it's the news about that, right? It's because of piracy sites. And this is in this regard to piracy. I think the whole conversation started about piracy. I mean, it has happened a lot long ago, right? Now again, I prefer to fence it on certain shit. I'm going to fence I would like to fence it on certain things. Well, whether you accepted it or not, whether you agree with it or not, because I don't want to get into that conflict. I'm not that kind of person when in conflict. I don't want to fall victim to any BS of social media. Besides, I don't even know how to talk back like that, man. Come on. You guys, like both sides, people on both sides are terminally online. I'm terminally online myself. Shit. I'm terminally online myself. But, yo, why would I search for toxicity? That's a problem that has gone to me too. Now I'm going into the toxic world of social media, which I shouldn't. I was better off following and liking art done by Japanese Twitter. There were a lot of fan artists and illustrators that I was following a lot and made from Japan. Just like in Instagram. Remember, I'm an Instagram artist. So I post my stuff, like mainstream stuff online. Though this one is on the edge. Let's just say. This one's on the edge. I think this is, like, after the whole Black Viltrumites thing, like, I guess the other conversation about that too is, perhaps it's because of the immigration thing. But then they started talking. But yet again, you people, like, I had recently just got beef with a fucking doujin artist who has barely made any hentai, right? And because I said in a comment on X, like, yo, like they're having beef against us, and I single-handedly watch the same and draw the same shit that you guys make. And I had this one artist who was, bringing such passive aggressive bullshit on me, such sarcastic passive aggressive bullshit that I caught within a get-go. I really caught that within a get-go. Because that shit. Because I know a thing. Because I know where someone's saying a sarcastic bullshit when I realize it. Because I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid when they think of that. Because they think, oh, you need a translation. Like, yeah, like you must have so much free time. Like, bitch. I don't have beef with you. Don't shoot the bird here, you fucking Buddha head. Right? And then on top of that, because I didn't reply without any sense of arguing, and she gave me the smiles and all that kind of good stuff. I didn't have any sense of arguing against with this guy and all that stuff. I mean, again, bro, I'm on your side, sir. I watch, I read, and I draw hentai sometimes, but just like you. You be reposting shit just like me. I'm on your side. We're both doing the same stupid shit in the end. But I guess, Japan turned out to be, tripping out, bro. Like, what's going on? Why are you tripping out? Why are you bucking? Why are you bucking out like that? And of course, in the end, this guy, as he repeated it. I mean, I could see, if you could see his tweet, I could show you the tweet. I screenshotted this tweet because, this person fucking like I screenshotted it before, like they took it out. I think, where is it? Yeah. Oh, did I deleted it? No, they deleted it. Yeah, I think I deleted it. Hang on a second. Oh, no, a second. I had it in the trash cans. Like, I got it. It was there. Where was it? Yeah, it was because it was all something about Latin America, right? It was something about Latin America and some shit like that. Like, this guy blocked me. This is fucking artist right here. This guy blocked me, but I didn't mean anything right here, right? And he talked about how Latin America is a bunch of, like I brought this out, right? I think I had it on Twitch. No, I had it on X. I had it on X because he replied. He already replied it before. Damn it, bro. Now I have to find it. Jesus Christ. Because I had it. There, this guy. This motherfucker right here. Hey, wait. So this is what he said. But he blocked me. He blocked me. If you see right here, he blocked me. And he made a comment that I reposted. And where the fuck is it? He talked about us Latinos. He talked about us Latinos. Where is it? A lot of Latinos were like in his days are constantly going after me. Like I start being disrespectful and all that kind of stuff, right? And then, bro, oh my god, I swear I didn't screenshot. I wanted to screenshot it, and I reposted it right here. I literally screenshot it just in case if it gets lost. And he, but he responded to me in such a way. Look, with this sarcasm right here, after the whole Black Filter My debacle, because he talked about Latinos, causing crime, causing all kinds of bad attitude over there. I'm like, what's going on, bro? Ken Kenobi said otherwise. Ken Kenobi said otherwise. See, he deleted it. Yeah, he took it out because he thought that I can't say anything. He thought I can't say anything, right? So I had to go over here. Hold up a second. Oh yeah. They're trying to delete this. They're trying to delete this. They're trying to delete their comments. But this is because it's due to piracy. This is because of piracy. And man, you see all these bunch of fucking comments on social media and shit that are saying this. And he talked about that, right? And he told me this. Sorry, it's all tough words to translate. That nothing's getting across. Seeing you quoting old tweets, you must be super free. Like, you see that passive aggressive shit that he pulls out, that this fucking chink, slant eyes, fucking yellow headed Buddha head says to me, right? Right? And I'm not being any mad. And now I'm saying all this stuff. That's just my impulse. That's just me and my impulse, right there. However. Like, hey, look, like I said, no problem. Allah, I caught your sarcasm a few seconds. And then he said, okay, and then he told me this is not getting translated. But look, he said, listen up. Using easy to translate words is the smart way to do it, I'm like, yo, I don't know. I didn't say nothing to this nigga. I had no problem with this nigga, to this guy. And he just came after me, bro. He just came after me with a head on. Hey, listen, bro. I have no beef with you, although despite I said all that racist shit that you probably will never even heard even the word about that. Hey, thank God I'm not typing that to you. I'm not typing that to you. I have no problem. I'm fence sitting. All right. I don't know what's going on, but apparently that happened. So what happened next is that apparently was that from the words of that, it's because it started out with that K Urana. Was that Kay Urana quoted out a tweet regarding to piracy. Manga artists were calling out, users who pirate the media. Anybody. She wasn't exactly targeting a specific country. Now, Not everyone in Japan is racist towards us. Please stop that. I met some of the kindest Japanese artists out there. Remember, I was in MegaCon. I was in MegaCon. All right. I met artists. I had an artist who was want me to take him to see the OG voice actor of the OG Speed Racer, Japanese voiced dub for Speed Racer, and who was the professor of the original Pokemon at MegaCon. All right. Plus, I did had many good comments with hentai doujin artists, Kyokucho, Hyokoru. All right, except Torichamaru, who blocked me because I loved his art. I like his art. I had good conversation. I had good replies. You know, that was his job. Although that was his job, bro. That was his job because he's doing art and all that stuff. They were very. Everybody was very interested about who I was. Kyokcho. Kyokcho did a good commentary about, with her Western followers. And they were, most of them were America Latina. That's another thing. Kyokcho, bro, we all beg for Maple Star. All right? Maple Star, if Maple Star was able to collaborate with Kyokcho-san, bro, that would be the best thing to be. Probably the most goated projects would be animated in history on Twitter. Think of it. The most goated project of the century was if Maple Star animates one of the doujins, one of the original doujins by Kyokcho, whichever it has to be, and by Maple Star. Like, it doesn't get more goated than that, man. I wish to have that. Or Torichamaru. I want to imagine Torichamaru's doujins get animated. Oh, that would be amazing, no? That'd be amazing, word. God damn. I would imagine that. I would dude, that would be so dope. Because Torichamaru's got this very good art style. Although he blocked me. Oh man, I forgive him for blocking me. See? I have a good heart. I have a good sense of humor. These are just the posers and the little bitches from who are terminally online. Probably acting that are overly conservative and some shit like that. They're Ken Kenobi. Like Ken Kenobi had no, like I asked Ken Kenobi. I once quoted in the chat box with Ken Kenobi, who is a Japanese political YouTuber, about about Latinos. I say, hey, what about the Latinos that run around Nagoya and Osaka? He said they don't do anything wrong. Latinos don't do anything wrong to them. That's the most positive thing I've ever heard from him. That's the most positive thing I've ever heard from him, because he hated illegals. You have to come here legally. Yes, that's true. You must assimilate to the Japanese culture. You must assimilate to the system of Japan, whether you like it or not, because that's how it is. Japanese culture is not for everybody. It's for those who are willing to withstand that, who are willing to know or how to say this too. It's for those to even live in this, who in the most in the same familiar systemic, I guess, hierarchy as Japan. That's what it is. You live in the same systemic hierarchy as Japan. Now, I'm going to repeat this. I am still going to repeat this many times. Many, many times. You know what I mean? I don't know why, but like the other part is, but usually it's piracy. I think, yeah, it's piracy. So what I think what happened was that there was a pirate site. There was a I know it started with K Rana actually. So let's see. It started out with K. Okay, let me just go this way because I had to research a lot. Yeah, it started off with K's comment. Uh, Yeah, she's constantly in here. Okay, this is the one. This is the one right here. So this is her con. This is how. Okay, this is the whole thing that started. This is what the whole thing started, right? She said, "I spent the past few years researching circumstances in different countries. I spent the past few years in different countries, right? Including financial situations. I understand for many people, pirate sites are the only way they can read manga. Uh, I also understand that prices can be higher overseas. I've even seen people saying don't bring this issue up. But if we do not speak up now, the value of Japanese manga and creative works built through sacrifices and relentless efforts of those who came before us will be wasted, right? I've also seen people say reading for free doesn't hurt sales. That is not true. Free lowers the value of things. For once people grow used to getting something for free, they stop looking legitimate surfaces, like legitimate versions. I also understand that people who truly love a work will support it properly. All right, we pour ourselves we pour ourselves with into creating readers that so wait into creating so readers can enjoy our work. Compensation matters, of course, but of more than anything, I do not want to see its value diminished. To help people um, who cannot afford to buy it, or who do not have access to it, or do not have access to it, enjoy these works. Ando and I have been discussing this for a long time and exploring many ideas. I cannot share details yet, but we are working on it. Working on it. Publishers are making efforts as well. I'm sorry it's taking time, but please stop hurling accusations like you are racists for misguiding things like piracy is free promotion for you. All right? We will continue everything we can so everyone can join in manga. And I ask everyone in return to please try to understand our perspective and our culture as well. And she quoted, I am using a translation app. Just to be sure, this is what I typed into the translation app in Japanese. Yeah. Yeah, this is yeah, because she was she typed it again to make sure that this is the same, it's the same thing. To make sure that all that happens. So this comment alone sparked reactions those to support it, because yeah, it's true. You know, if you're willing to support, if you really love this person's work, why not buy it? Yes, I understand that here in the West, you got these payment processors who don't want to abide the freedom of expression that is from another country, and decided to regulate it, or is depending on the material, which is another thing too to talk about, is the material. The problem is that here in the West, you're thinking that you need something premium because an artist deserves a premium. No, if you go to Japan right now, like their artworks are like $4, because like the material there is literally $4 papers, right? Because of the work, they're printing things that is already been done on a sheet of paper, right? It's been done on paper. Normally, it's normally on paper, but Josiah, you know, in the West, it's being like dedicated or determined like if it was made on a material. Well, it also depends on, and not just that, it's the flights. You know, the manga decks and all the prices to that is coming from stuff that is not even translated in Latin America. Whereas Latin America are the first people overseas to kind of like get their products. And that, like Brazil, of course, the big Japanese community over there. Peru, there's a Japanese community there. Um, there's also Mexico. You know, America, United States. We used to have like we have a Japanese basis, right? But they have it way longer than the United States. Before even the United States even recognizes anime. You know, the United States, remember back then, you know, yeah, we had Japanese anime like the like Astro Boy started in the 1960s, and Osamu Tezuka, you know, the creator of manga anime, well, the pioneer of modern manga and modern anime, who met Walt Disney at the World's Fair. Think of that, right? People would still consider it as cartoons, and it wasn't consistent. That's the thing. Pokemon was an anime series that was actually consistent, but they didn't say so. Dragon Ball Z is an anime too when they brought it out, but well, but what we're talking about, like the first ones, right? You know, Voltron, Speed Racer, it was all colluded because it was thought it was just regular cartoons from America, but it really wasn't. It was made in Japan, and they had adaptations like Batman and all that kind of good stuff, right? So they're all made by animators in Japan. Then came manga came by, right? And manga wasn't really well translated and entered in America until the late 80s. And at first, it was they had to make it like right to left by scratch. It was made by right to left by scratch. After that, not right. But then came the first publisher book to make it a traditionally on the traditional Japanese census, and that was in the 2000s. In the 2000s, that's when you had like the manga adaptation for Kingdom Hearts, and you know, Yu-Gi-Oh, had a Pokemon if that was there. Then Bleach came in, and you know, Yu Yu Hakusho came in, and then more and more and more mangas like in the 2010s that are completely outside of it. That's when it came in. That's why. But the reason what to it, because that there was still so overpriced, and piracy came in by too, because you know the payment depending on whatever the demand is, that I remember America wasn't familiar. We in the United States, we were not back then, was still not familiar with the manga stuff, even though it was already being imported, right? So what happened was is that because even not just that, it's also the censorship bullshit that everybody's getting. That's another thing too, you know, because there would be seen because there are takes in original Japanese manga versions that regarded to fan service, which offends some and frightens the, you know, the Western man. were completely censored in the English version. That would censor it, and that would even delete pages that was incomplete because apparently they had a fan service shot until you read the Japanese version. So therefore, because it was an official website that you look for on Webtoons or on manga, that, or depending on whatever, especially on Crunchyroll. Remember Crunchyroll used to be a pirate website? Now it isn't. It's an official, public mainstream streaming site. Until and then they became the milk cow and censorship of fucking junkies that they are now. So therefore, that's why people pirated, and because of expenses and because of the censorship. And I think America Latina was the same thing because they assumed that because of the art was coming from Japan and they need a special sort of material that needs to be read in Japan. I don't know that part, but because of I guess it's translation, and and people had to kind of like retranslate that by scratch. Again, remember when I said in America Latina, over there in Latin America, it is filled. There is a Japanese community in Brazil. There's a Japanese community in Peru. There's a somewhat Japanese community in Mexico and in Chile, I think. I know in Ecuador, no. Ecuador, no. Peru, yes. Peru, yes. Definitely. And Peru is close to Ecuador. No, it's literally like south of Ecuador. So I think we have like a Chinese, or no, we have a Korean community. From what I can remember, we once had a Korean community in Ecuador, but they use that firsthand to use that to do translations and right. But because it was and on top of that, because of the transmission over there, and they couldn't even afford it. Not just that, people are very not really that like couldn't afford it because of the stuff, especially in Russia. Russia too was nobody can afford that stuff. Nobody can like afford that shit because of expenses, and the website and the unfamiliarity that is depending on the translation or the process of there. So people and the fan base started to pirate themselves. But funny enough, too, Japan also pirates their shit too, even if it's made in Japan, bro. If you could like, there's some pirated doujin like unofficial parodies. There was an anime parody, I think, that parodized even before Gintama, but it wasn't really shown to the public or in mainstream TV in Japan. It wasn't even shown on TV in Japanese TV. And what happened was they made right was that the people were wondering it because there was a Japanese website too that Japanese producers would try to talk to the Japanese people. And they were like, fuck that. No, they made their own pirate sites. Japan made their own pirate sites. And they sailed the seven seas before we do. But they say they don't want to be discreet. Because they know that otaku shit was very looked down. To this day, if you're an anime nerd who likes anime or manga in Japan, it's been said that you would be literally be looked down upon. People did not like it. But in Japan back then, it was basically a witch hunt over there. Maybe because there was due to that incident in Akihabara. That's why back then they say otaku, the word otaku or the word weeaboo, right, or the word weeb is considered like an inferior insult to us. But this is regarded to piracy, right? So they do this pirate shit, and that's what they talk about, talking about the works that needed to be supported. You needed to support the artist of their work. Yeah, that was just true. You had to respect, you wanted to give respect to the artist, you got to pay it, you got to pay. But what if that, but what if what if it costs $20 to read online, $20 to read online in the internet over that work, whether over there in Japan it costs $4 to buy a hardcover. Here in America, it would literally cost $10 to $17 for a hard book for one volume of a manga. And I'm like, okay, why would I do that? Because we can't even afford that. And not just that, you guys, the artists are constantly opening it up and creating more and more and more chapters. You're doing already the chapters. We're caught up. We're trying to catch up. People want to read more. But there's because there is, and not just that, is that webtoons, right? These official sites, right, would also like already put these chapters, and you have to pay every single one of them. Why not just pay the first season? Just pay that. Pay at least $8 for the whole season, one first season, and the one first volume. So the first deck volumes of like for example, let's say part one of My Dress Up Darling, right? Sona Biscuit Doll Darling, right? Why not just buy part one of a whole deck, and then part two of the other whole deck? Why not do that? Then also as well light novel series and all that kind of stuff. Because they're expensive. They're getting ridiculously expensive. You got a global like a cultural competition here in America that is also censoring. We needed uncensored that is basic to the story, that we were caught up. We were caught up with the news with that. Don't shoot the bird here, man. Like literally, do not shoot the bird. But I'm trying to also bring the same topic like Chibi Reviews would say the same thing. You may not like Chibi Reviews' opinions, but the white kid had a point. No. So what into that, right? So what into that, there was a crackdown. The crackdown went down when a pirate site, I think TMO pirate site, this pirate site called TMO Manga, right? From Latin America. One good thing about TMO's shutdown is that the quick detector dumbasses. Right here. What happened was that TMO, the pirate site TMO that was for Latin America, was officially been shut down. And oh yeah. It was officially shut down. And people in Latin America, especially Russia, because they used this too, and the Russians have been pirating the living shit out of this thing. They fucking crashed out on the officials of Japan. They crashed out on the officials of Japan. They're saying, "Hey, why would you do that? What's wrong with you, yo? This is our art. This is our manga. Like no, well, we have the right to read this." And they're like, "No, you don't have the process to pay. Like, why you need to pay this? This is illegal." Funny enough, right? Funny enough, no? Funny enough, no. Funny enough, no. And therefore, they're saying all kinds of stuff. Now, at first, again, where is the Latin American thing going on? It's usually because of the piracy, right? This person right here who actually is a weeb from Latin America? So their opinion is one good thing for a change about TMO's shutdown is that it's a quick detector of dumbasses. Imagine defending companies that are literally telling you, "I don't want you to read my product, Brown. Plus, I love the solution. Look, Browns, we're leaving you 6 manga and so you don't complain." It's almost like they have all their savings and shares of the publishers. Really? Like, I'm seeing these comments right now. Look, they're seeing these comments. For free, look, this one says for free, libre, capítulo 1, capítulo 2. And then they have the other one for free, right here. For free. Like they would have the last 3 chapters for free. So they have the first beginning chapters, and then the rest you have to pay for that. Supongo que es mi culpa querer saber qué pasa entre el capítulo 3 y 230 de Chainsaw Man. He said, like, I guess my fault for wanting to know what's happening between. Yeah, because people be pirating this shit. People be pirating this shit. Here's one of them. Y parece que algunos olvidan que no todos los mangas que los tiene una editorial, algunos son exclusivos en japonés, otros directamente son accesibles ilegalmente y varios que son tan antiguos, año 2000, 2000 para atrás que es directamente, es casi imposible para leerlos incluidos en japonés, right? He said, look, he said, as it seems that some people forget that not all manga are published by a publishing house. Some are exclusive to Japanese. Others are legally inaccessible. And there are several that are so old, year 2000 earlier, that it's almost impossible to read them even in Japanese. Yeah, Candy, right? Oh, for example, listen, these people actually know way more than me. Holy fuck. Look, Candy is such a fucking huge legal mess that even the Japanese can't read it legally, but we can through the pirates. Yeah, that's the thing. Because again, in Japan, if you think of it, Japan is also restricting and unlegalizing the anime themselves, their own creation of anime. Their own creation of anime. If you really, 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 really think of it, if you really think of it, I mean, I don't, like for example, remember there was, I think it was once said on Orbital Bacon on YouTube. The once brought up about a quote about a scene that was in the manga, but it was extremely censored. That it was censored. No, actually, yeah, it was censored. It was an ecchi scene of an old anime. I forgot what the anime was called. It was not Gunsmith Cats, or it wasn't Burial's Beret, right? It was another scene. Because I know, because if they were willing to censor that, then shit, Berserk should have been censored. But Berserk wasn't censored that much. The creator of Berserk didn't want to censor it. It's almost non-existent over there. Holy shit, it's non-existent over there, man. But then they started tilting up. They started acting up a bit, over censorship. And that was another thing too. Since after the whole thing, right? They know that there's stuff on piracy. So people in Japan didn't like that. People in Japan did not like the fact that they were pirating. But even though they were pirating. You were pirating your own shit because you know that in the public that it was not even that there were parts or schedules that they were not going to show in Japan regarding to that. But yet again, I don't know. Maybe personally to me, I'm in the United States of America, so I wasn't very aware about this major thing of piracy that was being used in throughout Latin America, because again, it was not affordable. It wasn't like no one's been able to afford all that. Not even Brazil. Si no fuera por los grupos de manga, yeah, if it weren't for the manga groups on Telegram, which is a new social media site, but it's a little more controversial, I would have taken a massive hit. Thousands of mangas were lost forever. And it's not something to laugh about. We were compromised. Latin America had very few good things among them. There's piracy, for better or for worse. And they were seeing again. They were talking about piracy, and piracy keeps going on. Piracy keeps explaining further and further and further and further about that, because that it was not just the right to that, because there were some channels that they weren't afford it, and it were showing all over the internet. Why I need that interest too, because people were so exploited for anime ever since anime. Remember, when anime was introduced in the United States, anime was introduced, I think around the 1970s in Latin America, and they were willing to show very adult things too. Because they know the product, they knew the market, that anime was best known for. Anime was they had a category for anime for children, they had anime for teenagers, they had animes for especially for adults. Yes, adult animes. that we all know for one thing only. So it was quite the target that was quite meant useful for such things. You know what I mean? Anime was quite the tool. Anime was quite the tool. I'll tell you that. Anime was quite the tool, and and therefore that was it. But they didn't have most of it. There was a whole market for that. Look, here, hey, consumidores de BL manga. Oh yeah, that's even the boys love. Not only that, there was even like the niches, bro. It wasn't for the internet, and it wasn't for the introduction of Japanese products, and for the Apple, bro, because the world was getting more connected thanks to the internet, right? Look, hey, consumidora de BL legal. Estoy seguro que tus Jordans son piratas. No, 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 lo son ladrón. No, no son ladrón. Ladrón, really, for real. Like, lo que me causa gracia que varias que estas tipas son así. I'm in full grace that these are the type of people they're talking about. Like this one. No, what's worse is that when you asked him for another app besides Manga Plus, he would give your options for manhwa sites when no one app wants to read mangas. I'm like, wait, what? That's another thing. But you also guys too also pirate that, right? So you had this because of the piracy shutdown. People started flipping out. People started going down, and then that's where we get to this. We're gonna repeat this. We're gonna repeat this on and on and on and on and on. We're definitely gonna repeat this on and on and on. Let me just finish this part up. Right? Okay, like I said, there was yeah, like so after that, then we got into the insanity of Latin America. Now, like I said, it started off for first comments of Latin America. It was started off with Viltrumites, right? I had this comment, and I didn't know why I was going over this way, but that shows some racist shit. Yeah, even Japanese. Wait. I mean, I'm seeing this wild shit right here. Oh my God. And then all this happened. All this had to happen. TMO, lucharon hasta el final dando por lo mejor de sí. Gente, like people hated by Latin otakus. The shitty Japanese who prefer CP over piracy. You see? And it started like this because of the government. Because K Arana didn't like it. Because K Arana, the Japanese didn't, and Japanese creators didn't want this. Then they started, all of Latin America started calling out all the Japanese and calling them, pedophiles and all that. Like just within an instinct. Now I didn't know firsthand what was going on when I heard about this. So like, what's going on? Why were we going after that? You know, but because she was talking, because these people were talking about in general over the pirate, over the bullshit about about us Latin Americans, America Latina, and therefore since the beef was apparently that it was because of piracy, and they didn't know that even though hypocritically they also pirated their shit too. That's another thing. There's a lot their circles of dojins like Kamike was very underground. The hentai they make, and yes, lolly hentai, because I'm gonna say this. I fence it. I am a fence sitter on this shit, or on what's going on in this. Hey, I like waifus who also are as small as me. I am a short ass person. So therefore, yeah, I am their side too because they're fiction. And I look for characters that are fictional enough to make me say, okay, she's mine. You guys can hate me. You can call me out however you want to say. I don't give a fuck. Because I separate fiction from reality just like these fucking Buddha heads separate from fiction and reality as well. Just like Chibi Reviews and Professor Darkness and, Monty Sensei, right? I'm pretty sure right now, like, I don't want to bring any racial slurs, but there is a moment of me where I'm thinking some of these blurs, these black nerds, right, are calling Prof Darkness, sometimes Monte Sensei, like they're cooning, right? Because they don't fit the same narrative of the logic that, that there are times, art does imitate life on certain things and it's weird for these people. Well, then don't watch it. Don't watch it. I sure as hell by watching Tokyo Ghoul, and I'm in love with a. I saw one lolly character that I liked. I liked that cyberpunk edge joiners, and I liked that girl, Rebecca. Right? There was Konosuba. I got took a liking. I took that interest, and I have such things. There was Rule 34, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. All right? Etika. Before he died, he said he had hella hentai. He had hella Rule 34 porn of one anime character, which was Arrow Manga Sensei. Arrow Manga Sensei. That's the character. Right? One of the characters. Yeah, I forgot her name is. But he said he had hella porn of it, and it was nothing wrong. And he was black himself. He was black. He was African. His father was an African politician before he killed himself. No one batted a fucking eye. Keep that in mind. You're gonna call him a coon? Black nerds? You're gonna call Etika a coon for just because he doesn't stiff for nerds and he separate fictions and reality? Since you guys keep blackwashing Goku and blackwashing Dan and Jujutsu Kaisen and all that kind of stuff, I'm not supposed to be the one talking about this. That's between you and the blurred community. That's between y'all and the blurred community. That's, I am a Latino. I'm not supposed to be talking. I got straight hair. I look, unfortunately, Middle Eastern. I look like a Moroccan who was trying to take out a Senegalese during the AFCON finale. I'm not supposed to be talking about that. You guys are going to the ones talking about this, which that has happened before. All right? It has happened before. You don't need to like that. All right? Go ahead, make videos. Everybody's got an opinion. Chibi Reviews got an opinion too. On your side, on your side. Listen, I did not like what Chibi Reviews said shit to Slep. I would not agree about what Chibi Reviews said to Slep because he was a victim of being groomed by a predator in Roblox. He doesn't know that shit. But at the same time, I am now old enough to separate fiction from reality. I am drawing two lolly characters. I draw a goblin girl. But you know what? I'm also drawing an East X West character I'll try to draw. I can draw fine bitches like you, bro. Yoroichi. We all like Yoroichi. We all like that. But people say that's blasphemous. And High School DxD. But no one better than I. Bro, we like Teen Titans. The character was Teen Titans. Remember Teen Titans Raven? We were all fucking going. We were going bazoinkers over fucking Raven. Although mythologically at the time she was a 16-year-old. We were fucking going. We were going bazoinkers over a 16-year-old teenage girl. But she's fiction. She doesn't exist. How? The attitude, the groom literally says it's coded. She was coded in a way that no 16-year-old would actually behave like. I got this, but you don't want to get that because the moment you hear that, No, fuck off. No, 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 no. FBI, I get it, bro. I listen. I also miss the memes, those memes too. I also miss those memes where we had, where those dang, when we had a girl, right? That said that I like you, but she says she's 15, and then the bum 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 FBI open up. Bum. Remember those dank memes, bro? I miss those memes too. I miss those memes just like you guys. But at the same time, bro, you're like, yo, yeah, time has changed and it's time for you to kind of like, like grow up with that shit. I know half of y'all who are still reacting and defending that shit with such a militaristic passion are pretty much jits. Y'all pretty much jits in on this topic. And you're not supposed to spend too much on social media. Social media will kill you. It killed me. But the good thing about how I'm using social media is I'm looking at art. I'm not looking at toxicity. Again, I don't, blurs need to like, yeah, bro, like blurs need to, get their shit together. But I'm not the one talking about that. I can't speak for that. I can't speak for that. That's among Monty Sensei. That's among King Black Knuckle. That's among, that's among those people. Professor Darkness Prof. That's among him. That's among I think Jay the Conqueror or something. That's his name. Artreus too. Artreus as well. That's among him too. But I don't think he knows about that too. Not yet. Not yet specifically. But it's up to those guys. It's up to y'all. Smoke weed or something. But here in Latin America, that's where we're into. I want to have to repeat this over and over and over again just to kind of get the fact, the memento straight. Right? Look, people hated by shitty otakus, shitty Japanese who prefer CP over piracy, shitty gringos, no matter what they do, shitty Spaniards who destroy thousands of unlicensed and impossible to get mangas, bootlicking Latinos who claim to get everything legally. That's the thing. So this guy's on my side. I'm on this person's side on the conclusion of things. But perhaps this guy is a normie. He's a normie on everything. Well, she is a normie on everything. Bleach is my safety place. A specialist of manga specialist. You are from Colombia. Hey, damn. Oh, pero she's got the rich. Just kidding, bro. Colombian girls are fucking fine, bro. But look, she said this. Look, people hated by Latin otakus, shitty Japanese who prefer CP over piracy, green, no matter what grifting white people who grift us, right? Gringos who grift us, and Spaniards who destroyed thousands of unlicensed and impossible to get mangas, bootlicking Latinos who claim to get illegally which legally they didn't. They say, no, I got this legally. I got this legally. No, you did not even read a fucking manga. You didn't even go there. I pirated music. I had to pirate music because I like music that I wanted to listen to, but I didn't want to have to pay for it. So I remember a time when LimeWire existed. I remember a time when I was in fifth grade. I remember when I was in fifth grade, I pirated music in LimeWire. I've watched animes, some anime. I was introduced to Bible Black on LimeWire. It was the piracy to go. Piracy was the shit before they shut down LimeWire in the United States all the way back to I think 2012. 2012, I think, yeah, 2012 is where 2013 is when they shut down LimeWire. 2013 is when they shut down LimeWire. Unless they turn it public again. But even so, look, but you still have very good people in there. That's another thing. I'm still trying to find that comment because of regarding to crime. Yeah, I was looking for it. What was it? Oh yeah, they even talk about this. But you true Japanese people, they don't talk like this. Is this just those Japanese? It's just the bad people. Every bad people in every part of the country. You're gonna have good people. You're gonna have bad people in part of the country. Oops. I also have I'm pretty sure. Where the fuck was it? Yeah, see, this guy deleted it. He deleted it because he didn't want me to reply to it. I already screenshot that shit. Hold on, I gotta find it in my trash cans. I know I have it in my trash bins. I know I have it in my trash bins. Right here. Oh, it's a little larger. I know large icons. Yeah. This one right here. Yeah, restore this one. So this is the one I got. Okay, this is the one I'm looking for. This is the one I'm looking for. Right here. Right here. Okay, so this is what it says. So this is how it started. Because due to the piracy, the Japanese started talking shit. So, right? Due to the piracy, the Japanese started talking shit on us, on America Latina, due to that part. If you want to buy our product, you gotta support this and that. Oh, but don't start your shit on me on this and that. On piracy is a good thing, because of the piracy that now they closed TMO. A lot of Latino, and then these people started to bring out the accusation on us and bring out the stereotypes on us. That we cause criminals and shit. A lot of Latinos caused nothing but trouble in Japan as a result, which made people super wary and gave them a bad image. Even now, coming to Japan from there are constantly causing problems. Wait, what? People coming to Japan, even now, people coming to Japan from there are constantly causing problems. You don't think there was a racial discrimination in Japan back in the day to the extent that foreigners imagine, right? It's just overly self-conscious. Japanese people are small in stature, so I think they were easy to mock. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Because if you, I met a Japanese artist who is fucking taller than me. I go to H Mart, right? I go there's a Korean supermarket which is the biggest one in America. And I was open here in Orlando. In Orlando, I met some people who are generally taller than me, who are Japanese. I am 5'5". These motherfuckers are like 5'7". All right, I'm 5'5". They were 5'7". I met a Japanese mangaka who illustrated Ultraman and Godzilla in the 1980s and 90s. This dude was generally taller than me. And you're telling me you guys are small? Who are you be meeting? Don't tell me it's just the typical Germans and white people. I know many people who are taller than me. I know I met some Germans who are shorter than me. Right? So I brought that out, right? So this is the comment I brought, right? And then, so from there, this was the comment. So it started from there, then ends up to this, right? I reposted this after the whole Black Viltrumite debacle by Japanese X. Now they're going to after us Latino, this and that, this and that. Sorry, it's all tough words to translate. They say sorry, it's all tough words to translate. Getting costs. No problem. Even though I caught that sarcasm in a sec, I want to say a second from you, right? And then he decided he blocked me in my stream. He blocked me. He fucking blocked me. So making sure I didn't need to comment his shit. But I already know what this guy said. Like, goddamn, like, bro, like, what did I do to this motherfucker to piss him off? And on top of that, you draw like hentai dojins, which I Going to. I am your customer. Don't shoot the bird here, bitch. I'm on your side. I just do not want to. I just choose to fence it. Yes. People say, bro, make up your mind. Stop fencing. Bro, I'm not fucking Seros TV. I'm not Seros, bro. I decide to fence it because I don't want to get too informed into toxicity. Because Twitter X loves toxicity. Twitter X loves toxicity. And you have to realize in the end, those are not real people. You have to realize in the end, those people are not real people. Those are people LARPing. They are LARPers. They're not actual human beings actually thinking that way. Unless you actually think that way, sir, then you probably a school shooter. Then you probably are the problem, as everyone claims to be. You created racial slurs and all that bullshit. You created great straight up racial slurs and all that bullshit. Okay, I think that we got it right. So finally, I think I need to add. Oh no! I need to add. Oh my god. Second. No, I think I need to add. Then I'm going to do Bimba. What? Right here. So yeah, that's the case. That is the case right there, man. Like, what have I done to you? Like, what do we did to you guys? All right, that is right there. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bada. I finally finished it all. Finally, I get what I get, bro. The head thrown back a Higao. Male versions up, bro. Advocating for the equal rights. I'm advocating for gender equality. I'm about to upload this shit on X, and I'm about to upload shit on Instagram. Pause. Now let's just restart the whole situation. Now let's restart the whole situation from the get-go now. We need to start from scratch. I already been repeating this many times. I repeated this shit many times over this. And how did it start? All right. I'm at. It is nuts how this is going on. It is nuts and unbearable that we're about to get this bullshit and we're having this beef. I was sure that intake that it does not have to go with is not even have to do this. Nobody needs to be go through this. On God. So I'm gonna let's get to the real nitty gritty of things. I want to share. I want to repost this on Instagram. Yes, we do. So, I mean, I want to get to the gritty side of things of this. Nope, it's Southeast Asians, China, Japan, Pakistan, and now Latinos. Those and Polish versus Koreans as they can't shut the fuck up to be racist anymore. Ain't this funny? Ain't this funny, bro? Wait, how are they racist? How? Oh no, this. But that was February. Why are Asians beefing on my timeline? I'm crying. Mind you, the average South Korean beauty, the angry Southeast Asian woman. Like this is the racism that is going on Korea. But this is an old thing. I mean, a Korean abnormal titan. God damn. Oh damn. Yo, this is his side profile, but this is old. So the real problem is that again, this whole Latinos thing was because of piracy, right? Because it started out with K Rana. It started out with because the artists, usually artists that were calling out the piracy and the shutdown of TMO, which is a piracy manga pirate site for Latin America and surprisingly Russia, because Russians get to do this. The whole thing went down, right? I'm gonna record this. I'm gonna put this because I usually do this on YouTube. Okay. Like I'm gonna repeat this again. I'm Element Reptile. I'm Element Reptile. I hope you guys enjoy this. I am recording this on live, so I hope I share this and everything. We have beef today, for some reason, in between Latin America and Japan. What's up, right? I don't know what it is, bro, because I remember the time where black Viltrumites was spreading all over on Twitter. Again, remember this is Twitter. This is the fictional place. You don't need to watch it. You don't need to get into this. You could just fence it and fence it and fence it and fence it and fence it. All right. You don't need to get into this bullshit. However, I want to talk about how like or we're talking about it, and I've been talking about it for at least an hour or so about this stuff. So I had a comment about what's going on, and it started off with this, and because of the shit that's going on here, um, first thing what happened was that the Japanese are having beef with us, and especially on regarding to I guess like I said piracy, and piracy goes was that TMO shut down and a lot of mangas that were very rare to get, very rare to read due to the Japanese policies and the stuff out there was being cracked down by Spain. And Spain is going wazoo up the ass because the European Union want to save children. So they started censoring manga anime, not only just hentai. So this guy said, right, so but within that, hilarious enough, I have been hearing rumors, including on Twitch, on X, where the Japanese themselves were also pirating manga, and they were making their own indie animations and so doujinshis secretly until they started getting cracked down, until they were getting arrested. They were getting arrested making doujinshi. So I don't know. So we're in the same boat, but I don't know what's the bitch fit about this. So what happened was that regarding to that reaction, when they are accusing us for the crackdown and all that stuff and the manga sales that are going on value because Keirana brought up the stuff about piracy. We had another second race war going on. Let's just say. He said it right here, bro. A lot of Latinos caused nothing but trouble in Japan as a result. This is a doujin artist. Mind to tell you, this is a doujin artist. A lot of Latinos caused nothing but trouble in Japan as a result, which made people super very wary, and then gave them a bad image. Even now, people coming to Japan from there are constantly causing problems. You don't think there was a racial discrimination in Japan back in the day to the extent that foreigners imagine, right? It's just overly self-conscious, Japanese people are small in stature, and I think we're easy to mock. Bullshit, because I am shorter than you. When I was in MegaCon, I met a Japanese manga who is 5'7". I am 5'2". I am shorter than you. I am shorter than you. If you meet me in person, I am 5'5", actually. You motherfuckers are like 5'8". The people, all right? You say you're short because you're hanging out with foreigners who are like on 6, living 6 foot, 7 foot, who are basically northerners. I am mid-size. I'm the same size as a Japanese high school student. Okay, so I reposted it and right, I reposted it right after this, right. It said, look, after the whole Black Viltrumite debacle on Japanese X, now they're going after us Latinos. Like, bro, I watch, read, and sometimes draw hentai just like y'all, right? And then it's like, so in this same guy, the artist who I reposted, he said, "Sorry, it's all tough words to translate. Nothing's getting across. Seeing you quoting old tweets, see, you must be super free. I'm jealous." Like some passive aggressive shit this guy told me, right? I said, "Look, I have no beef. I was just keeping it calm, no problem." Even though I caught that sarcasm in a second, right? And then he reposted back, and like he kind of basically blocked me after that. He basically blocked me out. He may say like, okay, this time, this comment you are is impossible to translate. And I know, like I know it is. I can still read it. I basically, but he blocked, but he decided to block me so I don't have nothing to do with it. Right here, he decided to block me, so I decided. And he said a Ludi Lou artist occasionally assembles plastic models, but because he does frames, he does frames. I really wanted to check him out, and I wanted to make sure that he actually did block me, so he did block me. I had nothing to do with you, Buddha head. I don't know what you're coming after me for. I don't know what you're coming after us Latinos for. Over the piracy, I agree with some of the piracy because you got artists that need to work on their shit, but you're coming after us. Well, and in return, I mean, in return, it goes down like this, man. You know, like you got the Chinese talking about this. You got, right here, English. The fact that isn't English isn't the fact that English isn't necessary proof that it's not an international standard. Vietnam, Vietnamese, got it? Huh? India, huh? Brazil, simplified Chinese, this and that, this and that. No, no, it had another one, but like there was like tremendous beef going down regarding to this part. And even in Latin America, we got one girl right here in Colombia. Look, people hated by Latin otakus, shitty Japanese who prefer CP over piracy, shitty gringos no matter what they do, shitty Spaniards just destroy thousands of unlicensed impossible to get mangas, bootlicking Latinos who claim to get everything legally, right? And so you have these kind of comments going down and more because thanks to auto translation to Elon Musk, we have to have beef with Latin America. Like we have this like I don't know what's the beef. Like I'm fence sitting all the way, bro. I'm saying this to you, okay? I am saying this to you, to the artist who is saying passive aggressive shit to me. I am on your side in the name of hentai, all right? I read and watch and sometimes draw hentai. I'm not going to show it. Actually, I do have this. I have this, okay? I'm going to share this on Instagram. I want to share this shit on Instagram because I draw art. And I want to share this on Twitter, all right? On X and on Instagram. I am on your side. I am on your side, all right? On this. Do not shoot the message. Don't shoot the bird here. Don't shoot the parrot, man. All right? Because if you attack someone who likes your content, then maybe yeah, I have the right. You are being a fucking Buddha head. You're being a Buddha head who's getting arrogant over what you're seeing in propaganda on X. Right? Social media is fictional. Yes, I'm calling you a Buddha head, but yet again, I don't think you're going to understand that. Because it's a Japanese artist. I'm getting beef with a Japanese artist that I have no beef with. Bro, I have no beef with that. Really have no beef with that. Sorry, I apologize for the racial slurs, but hey, man, that's what's going on, man. Look, this guy's here, right here. Do they realize that Latinos have been racist towards Japan for years. But when they see a tweet from some random Japanese person and suddenly start playing the victim, for years, they have been saying that Japanese are misogynistic, pedophiles, suicidal, and slaves. The typical two bombs would have been enough. And yeah, this too. They're saying this too. Look, 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 look. They're saying too. There's a tremendous number of people who treat Japanese manga readers and overseas alike with politeness and respect. There's also people in Japan and abroad who insult each other. And I've even seen some insults directed at Japan and bring up the word atomic bomb. I hail from the Hiroshima prefecture where the atomic bomb was dropped. Yet my forebears and the adults around me never taught me to harbor resentment. Instead, they taught me to never repeat it. I am grateful to those words who taught me that. Harbor, hold on to nature and cultivate. She said, like, yeah, because she's doing it peacefully. She's doing it peacefully. We're all playing peacemaker here, yo. Because they after the whole debacle of that stuff, because meanwhile China is not even letting their grip and their grudge against Japan for centuries and bringing about Nanking and Unit 731, which did happen. But hey, you guys, Japan got nuked, so why they start throwing a fit about that? All right. But there's even talks about apparently Japan. Look, even talks about like Japan about talking about pedophilia again. A Spanish guy just says something that like Japan's already lost to America, Korea, and China in the anime and the gaming industries too. You're done for. You lot with pedophilia as your national pastime. But those guys with theft as their national pastime, on top of that, all they do is sumo wrestle and borrowed loincloths. Huh? So you hear these slanders back to back, right? And according to them, right? Look, tanto en generalizar Latam, right? They love generalizing Latin America so much, just saying that we're criminals. So then I can say they're all pedophiles, lolicon fans, machistas, and exploiters, right? And you get the same comments, right? They're agreeing, yeah, you can do it, but they pull out statistics and you end up looking like, yeah, like there are people are on the other side of the spectrum too talking about this. You can do that, but they pull out the statistics, you end up looking like dumbasses, because everything you mentioned is worse in Latin America, but except for Lolicon, because here they produce real yes, child sexual abuse material for them for real and in bulk. That's which is also, unfortunately, that is true too. I mean, we had in Ecuador, we had there was a raid by Tim Ballard, who is an agent, a DA agent who saved a lot of children from a pedophile island, and that was real too. So we're being caught. They're also being exposed red-handed because of the lolicon culture. Look, you guys, you don't need to get into that. You guys don't need to support any of that, okay? I agree with you. Remember, I am a fence sitter in this shit, all right? I'm fence sitting on that behalf. Yes, I'm going to tell you this straight up too, and my personal heart and bidding, okay? I do have waifu's interest on characters who are of the short kind, who are of the cute and funny kind. Yes, because they're fictional, all right? I have one lolly character that I like from Tokyo Ghoul. I do like the lolly character from Rebecca, but you guys consider them as children, but in reality they're not. I'm drunk, all right? I'm more. You may think I'm on the side of chibi reviews, but I don't agree with some of the shit that he says, especially what he said with Schlep, who he was an actual victim of an actual predator on Roblox. That I disagree with. But I also don't agree with y'all trying to threaten to dig up his dead brother's grave, and then laugh at the fact that he got cheated. Sure, he may deserve that over saying. I do feel the way that yeah, he should deserve to get cheated on for saying shit that like that's a schlep and then going a little weird on a certain shit. But at the same time, I'm also the person who separates fiction from reality. Right? Not every Latino is going to go abide what they on a peculiar side. I'm alternative as fuck. I'm alternative as fuck. I don't have a side. I live by the value as a Latino, but I don't live by the culture. You, I have yet to be called a coconut, but I look Arabic. So for some reason, although I am more of a mestizaje of a different kind, a completely super hybrid of a mestizo. Anyways, look, in Latam is worse because we're flooded with organized crime. Yeah, so this, you know, you get to this point on, right? I think, but it's all revert to piracy. It's all revert to piracy. Look, and then they also passive aggressive shit when it comes to marketing. Too, there are two certain things. The Japanese seem incapable of understanding differences between markets. Latino pointing to Japan for crimes in Latam is much worse than and they're pretty retarded. I don't blame you all because I guess because we still have that drug shit all on our hands, man. Look, right here. Like Japs throw shit at Latin America because they didn't know that many otakus became like us otakus because buying pirated anime and manga. And I think that the fact that Japanese culture went global was thanks to piracy. But the Japs already bought out their classist and racist side. It's not new. For real? This one right here too. I was saying, look, what am I missing? What's going on in Japan? I love this country, even though you shouldn't realize that part. But this one was the funniest because it started like this. Things, right? I think this. I saw this from France. I saw this one. Look, with automatic translations, we've learned that the Brazilians are hilarious, the Chinese are little rascals, and the Japanese are still Nazis. But it is spoken by a West African, right? And this guy right here is oh yeah, a communist furry. Oh, don't worry, I'm drawing something for him. I'm drawing something for you guys. That's what those is given. You see comments like this too, even the Japanese too. No, I'm Japanese too. I was so pissed off of the situation of being fed random lies in Spanish that I wrote in Spanish. I wrote it in Spanish, telling them off to spend. Although of course I'm using translation for that too. Okay. Oi, law. Me and this Mexican dude. Okay, this is just comments and conversation. But no. Oh, there's even recent news too. The Japanese are pissed over lies about Himuro Arakawa. The Japanese already found out about the lies and tall tales are circulating about Hiromu Arakawa. Viral posting that Fumeta was terrified and changed her name to a masculine tone to deceive shonen fans. What? The Japanese have completely debunked this and are asking foreigners not to project their views on gender and sexism onto Japan. And Hiromu debuted. There were already many successful and highly recognized female mangakas in Japan, so there were no way to hide their gender. Yeah, that's true because we had the creator of Full Metal Alchemist is a woman. I know the creator of Demon Slayer Kiyoharu Katugere is also a woman too. Is also a woman too, and she made the most banger series of Demon Slayer. The most banger. That's one of the most banger ass mangakas. Even though it gets sleepy at half because of backstory. But fuck it, bro. Ufotable was killing it on Demon Slayer, and it was made by a woman. Made by a woman. But the shonen tarts are thinking otherwise, bro. But we're talking about Latin America, bro. America Latina. So they're we're getting like thrown racial slurs left and back over piracy. And then sometimes they were even said, look, there are sometimes, right? Sometimes we even get there's this potential parts right here where it says it's about Chinese, I think. Or is it Chinese? Yeah. They use Latin America. Look, nobody sees them from below, or at least Latin America. But if you're honest, we're going to defend ourselves. So don't go playing the victims when racist aggressions were started by Koreans and Japanese. It's the same shit, yeah. Because it's like the same shit with Koreans with the Southeast Asians, and now they banded together to say shit to the Koreans. But there's sometimes people will say this too. That apparently they would say that Chinese would go to Latin America, create Spanish speaking would create Spanish speaking accounts, and then make and then to slander the Japanese accounts on X. That's what happened. I I don't know if I can find. I think they had it. They had it. They had it, but they don't show it. I don't know if they're showing it. Right? They had it, but they're showing it. Hmm. But well, even so, bro, where is it? Yeah, right here. Some here, right here. Look, you're mistaken. Oh yeah. Oh, wait. O qué peligro en el mensaje. No puedes lamentar en los. Right here. Look. No. But yeah, bootlickers and everything. Bootlickers and everything. I don't know. Where is it? I guess this one. Right here. I'm gonna have to skip this. I'm gonna have to cut this whole thing off. I am aware of the South American Spanish-speaking community where certain specific Chinese-affiliated accounts are persistently spreading distorted and biased information about Japan's war crimes and its foreign policies. However, their influence remains extremely limited at present regarding to the aggressive accounts on X. But this is hidden. But this is in this recent incident. I also have impression that only a small number of accounts are standing out in a bad way. So they even talk about that that look, some Latin Americans one recent year starting to hate Japanese people and starting to spread hate, right? For me, claiming it's so identical that to the one from Japan's communist neighboring country. Even before COVID, they were literally engaging in propaganda activities in Japan. So now I'm thinking maybe they expanded to Latin America 2 to 3 years ago. However, I believe it's really dangerous to leave anti-Japanese propaganda on the internet unchecked because you never know. Because let me say that because you never know when or what timing it might have and might okay, it might have a negative impact in reality. So they're talking about this, and they're saying they're believing that that Japan that Latin America accounts where are actually hidden Chinese accounts that that are talking shit on Japanese on Twitter, and which creating also the same thing because it's funny enough that Japan is also that China too, since they got their notice on anime and manga, were also resorted to creating doing piracy on that as well, bro. But in the end, bro, like I'm like, dude, too. I'm like, I am not your enemy, sir. I'm just fencing on this shit, bro. Don't shoot the bird. You guys are attacking me. Why did you say fuck me for it? Why did you say fuck me for it, bro? Bro, and it goes left and right and left and right and left. A few days ago, they were crying about how Japanese are supposedly racist and hate Latinos. Now they're gonna start praising them because some are left wing. Get your ads together, like yo, like some are left wing. I like this is funny as hell, bro. It's funny as hell. How they say shit like that. It's funny as hell how they say shit like that, and without any kind of sort of like fucking like consequence or something like that, because it's over piracy on that stuff, and then it created a racial slur. It's like the same thing with the black Viltrumites, when black people are being compared to fucking like Super Saiyans and all that good shit. I'm like, damn, bro. You know what? I propose this. Why not you make a black anime character as a villain and make him OP? America Latina. I mean, like, turn us into a lolly. Fuck it. I mean, you guys want to gatekeep your shit so much, create more lolly characters if you want. I don't know. Or not. You could best to just shut the fuck up about it. Just shut the fuck up and just enjoy your shit, and we enjoy our shit within your favorite space of anime. And yes, too, we need to respect artists on that. But what is going on there is became a racial matter. So now they're going after us. I mean, yo, are we back in LA 1992? Are we literally back in LA 1992 right at this point? Fuck, huh? But anyways, that is all to it, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe to my channel. I'm Element Reptile. Have a good day. You're blessed, baby. Right. So, like I said, now we're gonna continue. Back to continuing to this. I already said, now I just recorded it, so I just made a video of it. You guys can enjoy it, right? So, like I said to this again, look, getting to this kind of impression is kind of and turning all cleanup stuff over perceived malicious intent to drag the Japanese down. It's just a way to delegate and honestly worrying. There's plenty of non-half Japanese people dishing out even harsher Japan critiques, you know? Right? Kinemans, whenever one's post, it's scary that malice to drag the Japanese down at every opportunity. Speaking from a condescending perspective, despite not being all clever and all that. It's tribalism. It's just a racial riot. Tribalism is funny as hell. And racial riot and tribalism all funny as hell right there. No, I'm Japanese too, so yeah, because they were all talking about it. No puedo creer que en serio había gente que no sabían que lo mucho que los coreanos y japoneses los odian a los latinos, la piratera y que muchos son profundamente racistas. I can't believe people who actually didn't know about. Yeah, we're like, yeah, yo la sabía. I already knew that, but it shocks me to see the things they can say to your face without any remorse. because because there are differences, bro. There may be differences of opinion because we live in different places and have different cultures. This motherfucker is from Korea. Oh, she's 17. Okay. There may be differences of opinion because we live in different places and have different cultures. So even so, that does not just justify racism, and I apologize on behalf. Yeah, so this is more gentle. This is what's more gentle about this discussion. Actually, there's another better discussion I've seen post. I have seen before. I think it was on my profile. Oh no. On my home. Let's see. See? Look. These are more positive notes. Hey everyone, Socio sees. I make music over in Tokyo. If you got a minute, give my songs a lesson. And then yeah, like they're talking about overseas. Everything sounds great. Everything's nice and daisy. You know, sounds cool and perfect for an anime editing, doesn't it? We will watch a career with your greatest interest. Everything is positive in the other side of things. This is my timeline. This is my timeline, yo. This is more positive things. I've seen this. You've seen this. Look, wow, Takeichi pushes for social media bans for underage children to protect predators. Spencer Convention, all of those to sign up. It's pretty unclear. Oh, okay. But, you got all this. I mean, you got an art trend going on, on Twitter X. You have all the other stuff, right? But you can't seem to accept that part on life on that behalf stuff. I mean, we could go back again. Like we have, you have this. I mean, it's already YouTube stuff going down when it comes to censorship too. Look, also, now you have this comment too here. Look, also, if you were to apply an American to university, you wouldn't be applying to as someone Japanese. You'd be applying to someone Asian. You get to compete with all those Chinese and Indians for the same limited spots. Thanks. Oh no. You should realize that with your intelligence, you couldn't even graze the humanities programs that former imperial universities, let alone into Tokyo University, no matter how long you spend your whole life trying. Okay. Thanks, but no. When applying to Japanese university, you're up against Japan. When applying to American university, you're up against the entire world. True. It's true. We have intelligence. We have broad spectrums of the world that is far out. All right. Not even Europe can handle that. Not even Europe nor China can handle that. Right? Because we know it all. We know it all. We have many. We studied you in Japan. more than your fucking education system in the Japanese schools, more than the Korean education systems in Korea. Okay, that's why we're so fanatical of you. Thanks, but no. We're playing Europe against the entire world. Generally, I can't understand why Japanese are so sensitive about it. But they're not even touching nobody. They're just dancing in a public space. No harm, no nothing. They're just for real. Mateo Trueba, right? Okay, let's hear this guy here. I like Korean women who tie ribbon on malice, dab on blush, and punch back with a smile. I am the one carrying trauma from toxic parents, smiling. I think this guy is someone else. No. Asian Latino, you know, okay. Let's hear this. The scariness that has been cut in half, huh? Asian Latino folks face discrimination. Okay, this is what I want to see, right? In both America and Japan, Japan, gaijin level, especially in elementary, middle, and high school. America, anti-Asian hate runs deep and mixed. And mixed. And mixed means, yeah, deep and mixed. Half-ass categorization means they're not accepted by Hispanics or Asians. Of course, not by whites, blacks either. Equals isolation, getting mocked. It's true that I've felt relieved that my son's got my blood diluted in him. I don't want him to go through the same thing in UC. Yes, there are Asian Latinos information Latin America in there. Because again, Latin America is not a race. It's an ethnicity, it's a culture. I am Latino because I'm in the United States by race because I don't know what I am. I have a last name that is not from everywhere. It's not I'm from my parents are Ecuadorians. They have ancestors who have been here for generations. They're mixed. Everyone is super mixed. Unless you go to like the town sites, we want to see actual indigenous Ecuadorians who are Amerindians from the Sierra, parts of the coastline, to all the way to the Amazon rainforest. Me, on the other hand, I'm from another mestizo group, super mixed, but I wind up looking like I guess a gypsy from Roma. But even so, look, okay, yeah, right, like Japanese immigrant. Look right here, this as a Japanese immigrant living in Latin America, I almost never encountered cases in my life where I'm hated specifically because I'm Japanese. With such a brief anti-Japanese movements in Japan, like those sparked by whaling issues. There are daily this is a mockery and ridicule targeting Asians, referred to as Chino, but it is aimed at Japan. Ugh. Specifically, it's hate towards East Asians in general. I understand, right? This one's more um softer. Look, I wish. Okay, this one right here. I think where did it start? That it started from here. I wish that in the Hispanic community, a brand new explosion of writers independent of Japanese content, a unique subscriber community to support and buy from. Look, I wish within the Hispanic community, a brand new explosion with writers with independent to Japanese content and a unique subscriber to community support with these writers would suddenly burst into existence. I can't help to get this image in my head where successful writers brag about their sales on the very next day. Strangers come swarming, shouting, share it, and strip them down into nothing. But surely nothing like that would ever happen, right? So that's what Japanese people would say, bro. Data, and then the response is to give you an idea, a Brazilian writer, Paulo Coelho, had a website with his pirate novels. Obviously, had made a lot of money with his novels. Piracy didn't matter to him, which is true. Piracy didn't matter, bro. Like if you weren't, if imagine you're a manga trying to share it overseas, but the system is so different and you're not unrelated to that, right? And we can't afford it. We would have dare pirate it. We remember when it comes to piracy, we have low quality. We when you pirate a manga before, it would be super low quality and dependent on where the person's editing the stuff via social media or editing in the system, right? But now everything is all nice and dandy. after buying it. Remember, imagine you do a system if you can actually pirate at least three mangas, like three chapters of the manga, and then therefore you get the chance to buy or purchase it online. Often, like those relatives will pop out in order when the lottery like you, right? But they would say, but then you get this comment, otherwise you get this comment. Yeah, because of the whole side to side racism that's going on between East Asia. Let's just say it clearly. People say East Asians or like Japanese against Latinos. Well, let's say it clearly. East Asia, East Asia. Give a somewhat stupid shout out to Asian Don, who's a cuck. All right. Well, anyways, I was shocked by the intense hatred towards Japanese people among people in Latin America. And they were unusually knowledgeable about Japanese data, which they do it because anime and manga was imported from Japan to Latin America earlier than the United States. Since almost no one in Japan has any interest or concern for Latin America, I was surprised. And he said again, as a Japanese immigrant living in Latin America, Chile, Peru, and a few other countries, hopefully Ecuador, I almost never encounter everyday cases in my life where I'm hated specifically because I'm Japanese, with the exception of brief anti-Japanese movements in the past, like those sparked by whaling issues. Because back then, in Latin America, we have such a big, higher resource, therefore people be fishing. It used to be Japanese, now it's completely Chinese, and Chinese are doing way worse, much more whaling than the Japanese are doing. There are daily instances of mockery or ridicule targeting Asians, referred to as Chino, because we don't know the difference. We don't know the difference. People over there in America Latina, they see this, they're thinking Chino. That's all they're thinking because we're stupid. We're all stupid as hell. But this isn't aimed at Japan specifically. It's hate towards East Asians in general, because propaganda and all that good stuff, bro. I mean, but this is almost like it's like the reaction, right? Like, I understand that some Latin Americans that in the recent years, content hating on Japanese started to spread online. For me, it claims so identical to the ones from Japan's communist neighboring country, which he's talking about China. Even before COVID, they were diligently engaging propaganda activities in Japan. So I'm thinking maybe they expanded to Latin America 2 to 3 years ago. However, I believe it's really dangerous to leave anti-Japanese propaganda on the internet unchecked, because you never know what time is happening in reality. Okay, so when he said about this, because China, we all know the big hate triangle: Korea, Japan, and China, because of their history, because they had a bloody ass history. They had a really unpretty, bloody, scary ass history. Let's just be fair with you. I mean, it was not pretty. It was not pretty. So to say that, because it has been said again, if you saw the one tweet before, is that right here, I think this is the one where he talks about specific Chinese affiliated accounts who are persistently spreading misinformation about Japan's war in Spanish, because we do have. I remember a time, this never happened. It's never been said until the 2010s. I mean, God bless the 2010s. I love it, but politically, it was kind of colonial at the time in Ecuador between the late 2000s and 2010s, early 2010s. Was that Chinese came when the most notable president in Ecuador, which we didn't like, was Rafael Correa, has signed a deal in China with Xi Jinping, and to agree on trade and resources, right? But behind that was the documentation that at first in the surface was peaceful because they were presented that way. But the document says that we will be taking charge of your resources, just straight from the get-go. Is that it was translated in a passive way, but in China, they was actually saying it directly: we're here to take your shit, and you're gonna owe us for it, basically. But you're gonna make sure you're doing this, that we are doing this in the sake of protecting nature, like the Amazon. That didn't work out. So they start, and I remember I would hear a lot of legends and complaints in Ecuador about the Chinese boats fishing the living fuck out of the Galapagos Islands, fishing the living fuck out of the coast, and that has been shown. And there were even videos of, like tensions between miners of Ecuador and the Chinese in some of the most diverse, actually legal protected cloud forest reserves, like Mindo. Mindo is a town in Ecuador, like west of Quito, which is a cloud forest. It's tropical. It is recommended in the National Geographic. People didn't knew that cloud forest was being mined by Chinese companies, by Japanese companies, but who were somewhat or not may be Japanese, but the reality they were probably Chinese too. They were mining our resources without permission in the Mindo area, in the Sierra, and people were protesting. Even in the Amazon rainforest, they were just going after everybody. And then they were bribing missionary. They were bribing, Christian missionaries to politicians, to all that stuff. But regarding to the certain stuff, I found out from what I heard from my parents. I didn't knew that until I realized it, thanks to the internet. The internet informs me. All right. That's what I've known about, Latin America, about that stuff that happened. But even so, I guess there would be a point where because of this beef in Latin America, some say, yeah, there could be potentially that the people who are talking shit and saying racist shit towards Japanese, while in return, you Japanese fucking Buddha heads are saying racist shit to us because of propaganda and because of assumptions that in return that this could be the one that Chinese affiliated accounts who are stationed in Latin American countries we didn't know yet, that are creating this kind of propaganda machine, saying in Spanish, because we have BYD, we have the Chinese surveillance all over Ecuador, all over Latin America, Peru, and all that stuff. So because Chinese tech is getting pretty advanced, but from that affiliation and advancement of technology, which China is really fucking good at, they have their political ideologies, and therefore they have their tribalistic attitudes. And trust me, there are times where Chinese are very tribalistic. I mean, it doesn't end there. It does not end there. So that happens to that point of view, But something Latinos tend to get angry deserved, because we are used to be Americans and Europeans used to be racist and mean to us. So people, because we are used to Americans and Europeans to be racist. So they just started to say once more, Koreans started insulting people. When Japan involved, everyone was angry. Yeah, it seems like our sense of justice is, each from our standpoint, have clashed against each other, and things have spiraled out of control, right? Now it's everyone so hell-bent on provoking just the other side that harsh words are flying back and forth. I'm sure you've never been hurt by cruel words from heartless Japanese people. I feel so sorry about that. As long as these are good conversations, these are good conversations, compared to my apparent conversation with one Dojin artist who would basically just lost a customer because I just want to know what the fuck is going on, and he's saying passive aggressive shit on me because but he didn't record the fact that I watch, read, and draw Dojin material, cultured content, sir. I watch cultured content, sir, and I do have characters who are of the cute and funny kind that you make, that you pioneered. Don't shoot the ally, yo. Don't shoot the ally. I'm on your side. Pero no, okay, then you lost the customer, fuck out of here, skedalo, váyase pa la verga, ¿no? Váyase pa la verga. Estás hablando de los Japón. No, here's another one. You're talking about Japanese who have an entire culture stolen from their neighbor, who aren't even original inhabitants of the archipelago, since the Yamato ethnicity destroyed the Ainu, who are true Jap. Let me see this guy. Argentina. Okay, but yeah, he doesn't want to say shit. This guy's probably a bot. He's probably a bot. Does multi? Oh, because his response to that was from this comment from a Japanese. Oh, from a blue checked. So this girl, 12K followers. Okay. Does multicultural coexistence mean that Japanese have people have to abandon their Jap? No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. So this person does not know nothing about Japanese culture and Japanese identity. All right, he's not talking. He should not. He should not. He shouldn't be the one saying shit like that. Does multiculturalism, of course, this have to be? No, you're not. You must defend who you have to defend. Okay. What makes kimono, katana, tea ceremony? No. Anyway, Western clothes and a bed. Love Italian food. Really, because you could be you could embrace your culture, but also have an interest of other cultures. You could just learn from other cultures. All right. Don't look at the lowest side. This thing about colonialism in all of global southern countries, this is the thing about colonialism that has brought up to this stereotypical image. Okay. When the colonizers came to enslave Africans, they came to enslave the Native Americans, they came to Southeast Asia, to South Asia, including to Polynesia as well. What they did is they would go after not the high ground of your culture, not the high richness of diversity of the culture of the global south. They go after the disgruntled lower class culture. They see them as the ones that they can't follow the rules, that they're always imprisoned, that they're always that rebel against the more cleaner hierarchy of global southern culture of America Latina, of Africa, of Oceania, which is Melanesia, Polynesia, Micronesia, and of Southeast Asia and South Asia, and including the Middle East. They would take look at the lowest level of that culture, and then they would say, this man or this woman are oppressed. These people are oppressed. And then they'd say, I will bless these people and I will bring them up before the people. So they did a good tactic of taking a criminal element of great societies and put them on kings, put them on the chair, and tarnish everything and say, these are the animals, these people, look what these people do to their people. So that's on one side. But at the same time, before these people came to our lands, we were killing each other. We were fucking bootlicking, killing each other, going, doing all kinds of heinous shit as they do, bro. People people, Africans will talk about racism of Europeans, right? But they were in Afrikaners and killing them, bro. There's lynching Afrikaners that are innocent, have nothing to do with that. Forgetting the history that the oldest humans in the group, the Khoisans, were getting attacked and raided by Bantus, by the Bantus. There was a Bantu kingdom, but no one talked about that. In Ecuador, where we have our stories, where we have one civilization in Ecuador which is completely like extinct in a way, somewhat, but I'm from that culture, Huancavilca, right? We were a coastal tribe of harbors. It's like a small kingdom that really wasn't organized, which kind of like spread it out. We were getting attacked by Incan tribes, by the Incas, by the colonies in the Incan kingdom. Kingdom was colonizing everybody. Until then, the Spanish came in and say, all right, let's fuck these niggas up and let's go. And then after that, boom, sexo happened and all that. And then we got syphilis and diseases and all that stuff. I mean, it's just humanity, basically. Humanity in its crumble on basically. That's how it's happened, right? But at the same time, on the other side of things, yeah, as we team up with them to face the Incas, they would take, of course, look at the rebel who they thought they were being bullied, and they put it upon us, and then look where we at. We become the monsters that made us to be. But it's not their fault too, because we've been fighting and killing each other too. And we forgot the mind that we were being outsmarted by a plan that we didn't know that was even that was so impressive. We were, as a matter of fact, I was impressed. I'm pretty impressed that they would pull such a trick like that, a tactic that was not talked about, but it was a procedure that they put us upon. So therefore, we became completely, we become, as what they saw in these racist shit posting memes that you whites and Asians do now. Yeah, for real. Man, look right here. Right here, look. Seeing how, I mean, here's another one. Here's another one right here. Seeing how xenophobic Japanese users can be, meanwhile, with Japan's food economy relies on countries like the Philippines, Brazil, and even USA. Brazil is leaning towards Japanese villages because he got a Japanese colony and has laws that punish racism up to 5 years of jail time. Meanwhile, Japan is xenophobic as shit and sells stores that sell Brazilian Filipino imported products can turn away to you expect Brazilians to care about piracy? You expect Brazilians to care about piracy when your country is so reliant on the world and hiding them? But you are a Marxist, Satan worshipping feminist. That is your problem. You're saying the racist shit because they're defending artists, but you are a Marxist. You are a Marxist. All right? And you're from the United States. So you need to sit your ass down, bro. You need to get to the kitchen. But you don't want to show yourself with the flags. You don't know what the flags. You talk about you're a feminist. You're a Marxist feminist. You're a Marxist. You shouldn't have say shit like that because over there in Japan, Korea is being taken over by Marxist socialist by the CCP, right? They flooded their immigrants in Korea for jobs, but they also rigged the elections of the CCP. You do not even know shit behind closed doors, and they're trying to stand for us. No, no. We're just trying to keep it at the anime pirating and racial war regarding to that. Even though that's what these elites of all kinds, of all colors want us to do. The 100 families controlling 8.9 billion people are being controlled by 100 families, and we're ripping each other apart for their fucking entertainment. Let's revive the five-person group in situations where many victims are caused by foreigners. If we can discriminate, but no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Okay, okay. Here, this one out here. Even Chinese otaku were outraged by the AI video of Ultraman punching a Japanese politician. Yet Latin America are boasting about images that use Japanese characters to denigrate Japanese people. Latin American otaku seem to be less intelligent than Chinese otaku. Chinese otaku. Ultraman's a fair hero. He doesn't see Japanese politicians. We don't. He doesn't see Japanese politicians we don't like as villains. American otaku. I'm a Super Sentai. Oh yeah, I forgot. Matt, when Super Sentai came in, Latin America praises Super Sentai. Latin America praises Super Sentai. All right, stupid Japanese people are bad guys. I'll exploit them with pirated merchandise. The fuck? All right, because you're. Don't you Japanese people forget that piracy is the reason why Latin America reached the anime and manga? But not just that, our shit in Latin, it was so expensive here in the West, and it's getting censored. We're seeing content we don't want to see content that is censored. Nowadays there's censorship, payment processors is going on, and now including that the here in the European Union, bro, in the European Union, the claims stem from a November 20 from the emojis like pills to evade detections voice meta, but right, and then regarding to this one, so according to the EU, the crying emoji makes you a criminal now. What's saying hi will also make you a criminal? They will find any excuse to scan anything you type online. So I can't. So in if I was European, I can't put the crying emoji. I can't put the crying emoji because it refers to the cute and to the. Let me say this clearly. I can't say it to the honey. The honey. I can't describe it to the honey fucking comment. So therefore now it's already censored. For real? Yeah, me, good luck enforcing that crying emoji. What you're gonna do about it, huh? Me in court after they found some of my and they aren't real, but they are to me. Yeah, no, no. Death to the EU. Yeah, for real. Death to the EU. Look, I swear to God, pedophiles are on another planet. They complain that people know their secret language. And you are pedophiles. You should be ashamed of yourself. So this guy loves censorship. This person is in the favor of censorship. Fumos, Fumos are amazing. What the fuck does that mean? Account in France. You know what? I also see a pattern regarding to this. I see this pattern regarding to this. Like you don't need to like whatever you don't need to like, okay. But there's a pattern where people who defend who separate fiction from reality, but when it comes to fan service, they don't like it. It's agreeable. You don't like fan service, you don't like it. But there's a big pattern where I don't want to bring the racial card in this, but it's getting racial. It's racially patteristic and culturally patteristic, where either white liberals and usually a lot of black people, black and brown people, would say that anime is best for the fights, but are awful and shitty whenever there is a fan service shot. I watch animes that have fan service. Heavenly Delusion had fan service before they started censoring that. I do watch shows like Free Rent, but they didn't. But those people, but the same pattern, tourists don't like Free Rent because apparently it's a message of hating demons, and not all demons are weird. Like what the fuck? Because all they care about is shonen fights, but not to know those same shonen fighting animes have fan service in them, and as has lolly content because some of y'all like Fate. But the same pattern goes. White liberals who are there with the flags of Palestine and Israel, right? Free Palestine and furries, who have furry porn on their accounts, and then blacks and Latinos who are black and brown and Asian, Native American, this and that, this and that, this and that, who are aligned to the white liberals, tarnishing and not liking anything that isn't Shonen Jump. And then you have the other side, who are of the cute and funny, who are diverse of anime, right? But also who are weird on the other hand, who are known for shit posting because we have memes on one side. Like there's black Twitter memes over there, but on the other side you have a lot of shit posting white people memes, right? With cute and funny, Blue Archive, Honkai Star Rail, Gotcha Games 2, My Dress Up Darling, and other shit, right? And and I think so on, including like I think there's a fandom for Hikaru, the summer Hikaru do it. So there's a verb the first section who are usually whites and Asian people. They have figurines of other characters, usually anime waifus that they like, whether if they're petite, whether they're male, dark skinned, whatever, fanboy, whatever the kind. There's even LGBT mangas that the other side don't tend to read because they like to do the race swapping and gay fan fiction shippings over the commercial animes that they watch. You see they see this pattern on and on and on and on. Black and brown people are gonna have Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, and so on and on, and other shonen shit, right? Although on the other side, there is Gintama, right? Well, on the white and Asian side, Gintama, but then you have K-On, you have Fate, you have Oshinoko, you have My Dress Up Darling, you have the most notable one, K-On, right? You have a couple of cuckoos. I think there was a community for the couple of cuckoos. There was a community for a couple of cuckoos. You have some for ReZero, right? On the other side has Solo Leveling. They had of course My Hero Academia, and then of course furries, which tourists are now infiltrating the furry community, the LGBT, and of course the minority community, infiltrating the furries, and they all hating each other because one side is saying, saying that if you're calling us lolicons, pedophiles all the fucking time, whether none of us are all pedophiles, not all of us are pedophiles, right? But hey, man, they go far away over some shit that I don't like. Look, and the other kind, right? And the other kind are saying furries, or are saying, right? They're calling out them. I'm blurred out of my words. Okay, let me say this. You got one side calling the people who are calling them lolicons are weird and pedophile because of fictional characters of sexualized children and all that good stuff who don't even exist, and they do crazy magical powers and all that stuff, while the other side is calling the furry community for liking zoophilia and bestiality and sexualizing animals and all that kind of good shit, wolves, and they make themselves cosplay over these furry costumes, and it's dirty shit that's going. That used to be just for the niche, for while the gamers laughing on y'all like y'all retards are fucking like nerds who never got out of the basement and never had sex with a girl and never cannot find a bitch in life, right? That was us black and brown gamers. But now we entered their space, and the white people entered their space. You have the LA riots 1992 all over again. I think that's what happened. The LA riots has happened again. We're having the LA 1992 riots all over again. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. So therefore now, man, I can make a video of that firsthand when it comes to that. Because you got one side, because the age, like animation and age consent doesn't even exist. I am in the middle. I decided to be in the middle. I do have interest in the cute and funny side. Yes, I have, bro, I am a gooner. I am a gooner on that side. But I put a fucking limit. I put a fucking level. Because there's shit that they put in, they like, that I completely don't like. That I completely don't dig with. And from that point, I'm like, no. You need to fucking go. Because there's people out there who actually push themselves to trying to gatekeep while they're actually making themselves weird. Those are weirdos out there who are actually pushing that narrative of the cute and funny, of the diversity of anime and manga on such a level that we will throw racial slurs. And at that point, I'm like, yo, at that point, I'm like, yo, you just lost my respect about that. Though, at the same time, hypocritically, on the other hand, the ones who saying that they're against racism, against pedophilia, against, you know, all things fan service, right, are doing the same shack shit too, but this time on real life. On real life. We don't like your fictional drawings because it's concerning and taboo to us, and that shit's weird as fuck. I want to stick to, but we're in live action. We're twerking, doing debauchery. We're doing debauchery. We're twerking our asses on live music television. We're actually we're actually doing real shit, murders and causing all that kind of stuff. And we were talking and making songs about that. And we say that shit's fire. And then of course you have the white liberals and Asian liberals too trying to march for us while they trying to pander their narrative into anime, trying to pander their sexuality, trying to force race changing and gender swapping. And at the same time, they're furries, which who killed a father of two children, Charlie Kirk, that tarnished the furry community. You tarnished the furry community. You tarnished the furry community. I mean, I think that is all to it right now, man. Because as I said, bro, I hope you guys, enjoying this. I wanted to be funny. I actually wanted to be funny. I wanted to be funny about this. I can remake a few scenes of this and make it funny if I wanted to, actually. But I think that is in the end today. It is 10 p.m., guys. I hope you guys enjoy this. Like, subscribe to my channel. I am Element Reptile. I'm an illustrator, graphic designer, artist, whatever. We see each other. You bless, baby.